it's just, I mean, aside from,
I would have booed her not over Trump and not over Eagles. I would have booed her for Baldoni.
I don't think there's any reason to boo her. She does nice things. She's a good person. Like,
Is she?
she
Was it nice of her what she did to Billie Eilish and Charlie XCX?
I wouldn't say those are, let's say, like, hurtful reasons to boo somebody. Like, I think that Taylor Swift.
Was it nice what she did to Kim Kardashian? Was it nice what she did to Scooter Braun?
Was it nice what Scooter Braun did to her?
No.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
No,
I mean, the things she's done for her
concerts
and making young girls happy, and like she's brought together like a community of some sort. But I don't think she's done like a heinous crime.
It's the Pop Report.
So juicy. They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty. What's up?
What was the reason for that song this week? Did you listen to it?
I don't know why that song is in my head.
I don't know why. And also your chest hair is popping this week.
Oh my goodness. My cleavage is I'm doing bubbies out.
Bubbies out.
Yes. I was trying to, I landed us a free coffee with my bubbies out at Starbucks.
Can you tell us about your Starbucks encounter this morning?
So I got to the studio late and I was like, oh, do I have, well, Andy was getting everything set up with producer Jack. I was like, do I have a minute to grab a coffee? And then they say no. And then I was like, okay. And then they're like, actually, if you make it fast, sure. And I said, okay, I'm going to make it super fast. Okay. So I go to Starbucks across the street. I go in and there's a lady there. It's always it's always a lady.
Always a lady.
And so she decides that this is the appropriate time to buy 35 gift cards.
30
manually. And so each gift card has a different amount. And she has a whole little notebook with all the gift cards and all the different amounts. $24, $12. What $24 and $12? I don't understand it. But she's going and they're swiping each individual credit or gift card to put the money on it. And so we're standing in line.
A crowd?
The people. Yeah, there was. Well, I was right behind her, but then behind me there was a line that was forming. And she has no idea that there's a line behind her. And she's just going and taking her time. And then finally we get through all 35 of her gift cards. And then she goes to pay and her card's declined.
How much was that total for 35 gift cards?
I didn't pay attention, nor did I care. Because at one point I was like, can I just pay for her? Like, I don't even care how much this is. Let's expedite this process. And so she goes to pay and her card's declined. And she's like, that's impossible. And so she decides that's the point that she's going to go and call the bank because she thinks that they're charging her they're flagging it as fraud. So then she goes and she's calling the bank and she's the slowest person I've ever encountered. And then she turns around and sees the long ass line behind her. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, lady. And she's like, okay. And then she goes back to talking to the bank. And I'm like, that's when you say, let me call my bank and get my shit straightened out. And
Wells
then
Fargo.
You guys go. But so anyway, at that point, they realized she was taking a long time. So they took my drink order. The guy came from behind the counter, the barista, and he took my order. So at that point, my drinks were already made. And they're like, you know what, just order on the Starbucks app. And I was like, I don't have the Starbucks app and I'm not downloading the Starbucks app. And that sounds like a process that I don't want to do.
You sound like a grandma hardcore, but I definitely understand those people who are like, I just need to order one thing.
Yeah.
And it usually irks me, but that one time I'd been like, I just need one coffee. And I would have been like, if I was a bystander,
yeah,
very okay if you just chimed in while 35 gift cards are being rung up.
Who buys 35 gift cards at Ralph's? It was wild. But anyway, I survived. And so I was leaving the Starbucks and they're like, well, actually, we've already made your drinks. So if you want them, you can just have them. And so I got 2 free Starbucks drinks.
Hell yeah.
So this is free Starbucks. And I didn't even have to, well, I don't know, maybe the titties out helped a little bit.
The guy at Starbucks knew my name at the Ralph's over here.
Oh, Jose.
Sure.
That's his name.
I don't know.
It's bedazzled. I know because I was staring at it, wanting him to make eye contact with me as he was swiping all 35 of those gift cards.
I was like, ally, family.
Oh, yes. He's very ally.
But like, I was like, he said, what do you need, Andy? And I'm like, why do you know my name? And at first I was like, in my head, I was like, nah, he took my order before. Like,
when did you go to Starbucks to meet Jose?
When did you not?
I always see Jose, but he didn't seem very happy to see me today.
Well, I was just very confused the time I ordered with him, and I was like, how does he know my? Oh, it's just on the app. Like I order, and like I'm like, but I didn't order yet. But I was like, I didn't order, so I was like, sir, who are you, and why do you know my name?
And hopefully you're subscribed to the Pop Report.
Maybe that's why. Who knows? How are you otherwise? Post Super Bowl.
Fine. Oh my God, I had a blast at Super Bowl.
Did you?
It was so much fun. The party was fun. The game sucked.
Oh, the game. I thought you said the games. I'm like, we didn't play any games. Like, we watched a game.
The football game sucked.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Super Bowl. Let's have a brief rundown. If you're new, we do some rundowns. Not on sports very often, but here we are.
But on ladies at Starbucks.
This Super Bowl was honestly mid to me. Like, it was fine.
That's generous.
I know. I think the commercials with Tom Brady back-to-back, a lot. I think the game...
Brady.
Already at the third inning at 0, yes, I know how to play, was kind of lackluster. I think the halftime show, unfortunately, lackluster. I get the highlight of the beef, but I was like, we had SZA not singing. We had Lil Wayne teasing something would happen, which nothing happened, I saw. And I just thought more could have been done in the entirety of this game.
I agree. And so I spoke out about this on Instagram. My critique of the Super Bowl as a whole. And I did not realize the response that I was going to get because
when it comes to the halftime show,
all the fandoms came for me. Well, because I judged everything, the game, the halftime show, the Taylor Swift, all of it. And so I didn't realize all the crazy fandoms were going to come after. The Swifties came after me. The Kendrick Lamar fans came after. I didn't even realize that was, I mean, I've never been apparently more racist. And then all of the Eagles fans that are also ruthless all came after me because I said the Eagles didn't really deserve their win because the Chiefs barely gave up a game. I mean, they barely did anything. Travis Kelce was, sucking harder than Taylor Swift on a Sunday afternoon.
I mean, yeah. Points were made. I mean, the Chiefs didn't perform anywhere near what they've been doing this season.
At all.
And so I think that was like, the Eagles deserved to win, but like the way it was won was like...
They didn't even have to try.
I think everyone was like, there's no fight here. But when it came to the halftime show, I had to watch it back to see the culturally significant moments from like the appearances, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
We have
Serena
and
Venus.
I think the overall like theme of it was great. I'm not caught up in this beef. I don't care for the beef as much with Drake and Kendrick. And I'm like, it's over. I get the A minor like necklace. Like, I think the things that really popped off the most in the Super Bowl were those bootcut jeans.
Oh my God, those mom jeans, the Mama 4 jeans were awful. But listen, this is my rant about I like Kendrick Lamar. They not like us. I like Kendrick Lamar. But what I will say about the halftime show is that I don't want to watch it like it's a fucking Taylor Swift music video. I don't need to look for all the Easter eggs. I shouldn't have to do research to go into the performance to know all the Easter eggs. I forgot Serena Williams dated Drake, and that was the connection. I love the shade. I appreciate the effort, but like, come on. There's already a shortage. There's already a shortage of eggs in the U.S. as it is that I don't need to go looking for them at the Super Bowl halftime show, okay? I don't like Easter egg little nods unless it's a Justin Baldoni lawsuit and I'm actively looking for it. I don't need to be... Whole Foods already doesn't have eggs. I don't need any more at the Super Bowl.
$15.99.
Oh, that's expensive.
You're telling me I'm concerned about the cost of food for families trying to put meals on the table.
My Whole Foods doesn't even have eggs.
This is Trump's America.
We can thank Bidenomics for that one.
The two different comments that came out of our mouths. Anyway, Super Bowl, I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
I mean, I would maybe give it a 4. The commercials weren't funny. Like, this is what I watch the commercials for. Not for Kendrick Lamar Easter eggs, but I watch it for the funny commercials. There weren't a lot of them. I watch it for the game, which should be good, but it wasn't. Because, again, the Chiefs really fumbled that one. And then I watch it for the halftime show, which is usually supposed to be just a fun, mindless, performance. We want to see Taylor Swift shake, shake, shake it off. Have Lady Gaga jump into the crowd. Have Beyonce give us a little single ladies. Something, Even Rihanna, even though her performance was kind of boring, at least she, was pregnant and there were songs that I knew. Whereas Kendrick Lamar, he tried to launch a new song at the opening of the Super Bowl halftime show and nobody knew the song. It was a little too much for me. But my favorite part was when they booed Taylor Swift.
I think it was just why? Of her, all the people to boo?
It was just the only interesting part for me. Well, Taylor Swift is getting, her reputation is really tanking right now.
I mean, the thing is also, that's not her demographics of people who like Taylor Swift are not at that Super Bowl. Her demographics are not football fans.
Well, okay, let's talk about why Taylor Swift got booed, because there were 3 different, things that were coming at her. Number 1, she used to be an Eagles fan very openly until she started dating Travis Kelce. So she had all the Eagles fans that she has abandoned that I guess felt abandoned by her. So they booed her. And then Donald Trump came out and said, you don't mess with MAGA town. And that's why he claims that his people were booing her. And then we have the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni stuff and the people, all the wives that were there to support their husbands. I think it was a trifecta of all three of those people that booed her for those reasons.
I'll give you the first two. I won't give you the third. I don't think the girls in that stadium really think about the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively lawsuit.
I think you had a few of them. You had Megyn Kelly in the crowd that was Team Baldoni, and I think that was part of her booing Taylor. I don't think she actually booed Taylor, but she did talk about how she was glad she didn't run into her.
It's just, I mean, aside from...
I would have booed her not over Trump and not over Eagles. I would have booed her for Baldoni.
I don't think there's any reason to boo her. She does nice things. She's a good person. Like,
is she?
Was
it nice of her what she did to Billie Eilish and Charlie XCX?
I wouldn't say those are, let's say, like hurtful reasons to boo somebody. Like, I think the Taylor Swift.
Was it nice what she did to Kim Kardashian? Was it nice what she did to Scooter Braun?
Was it nice what Scooter Braun did to her?
No.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
No,
I mean, the things she's done for her
wrong.
concerts and making young girls happy, and like she's brought together like a community of some sort. But I don't think she's done like a heinous crime.
But
or,
even
like,
if you talk about her community, the second you say anything against her, they'll come for you and drag you, which isn't the most loving or nice community.
No, and she doesn't condone that though. Like, I will say that
she
much.
doesn't.
She's not like sick 'em.
No, but she let them come for Kim Kardashian and fled them with the snakes. So she doesn't not stop it either.
I mean, Kim, her actions were kind of.
She called her out for lying and posted the receipts to prove it.
Well, kind of sinking into our hot headline.
Andy's become a Swiftie now, you guys.
I just don't think it's like not a person to boo. Like, it's just there's nothing like heinous of like a crime or like morally bad.
The allegations against her in the Baldoni
Oh,
drama of it all, if that's real,
that's a booing offense.
She was complicit in that. Yeah, trying to take a man's movie and ruin his life as a result of all of this. I think that's absolutely worthy of being booed.
I'll give you that to the extent of how much she's involved. Don't know. Like, if it's an extreme amount, that's different.
The more we continue to unfold all of this, the more we're seeing that she had more of a complicit role than she wanted to claim that she did.
Well, in terms of our hot headlines, I think that this actually ties back in this conversation to our topics that are about Kim Kardashian's former man, Mr. Ye, and Bianca Censori, because we saw Super Bowl ads. I missed this one. I think we left beside, I think, the time that this came out. But there was an ad with a certain symbol. I don't think we can necessarily say it or else we get demonetization.
Do we?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I mean, I'm just trying to play safety bets. If you know, you know. But there was an ad taken out. And so people are upset with Fox, who was running ads for the Super Bowl. The fact that this symbol was shown and allowed on national television. Number two, Shopify
The symbol wasn't. It was just him directing people to the website, and that's where people saw the merch with the symbol on it.
Right, but like at least the jurisdiction of knowing what you're trafficking to.
Well, you're trafficking to the Yeezy side. I don't think I wouldn't necessarily think. I mean,
I think no one thinks it would be that.
Nobody. Yeah, I don't think anybody thought that that's what it was going to be.
I mean, I think it just opens up Fox to a liability of like platforming that in its entirety. So right now, the site for Ye in its entirety is down. Yeah. Shopify has said it's violated its terms when it comes to site conditions and more.
Yeah.
So out of left field, the posts, everything, it's just like, who? Everyone's like, we saw it coming. It's like, did we see that coming though for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, so it's the symbol that
Backward
is against the Jewish community, and so obviously Kanye West has been very critical of the Jewish community in the past, and so he was launching merch with that symbol on a T-shirt, and that was the only thing that was available for purchase on the Yeezy website
for $20.
Yeah, and so the commercial itself was just him. He had braces on, and he was just telling people, go to Yeezy.com. And so you go to Yeezy.com, and then you end up finding that that's what's for sale on Yeezy.com. And it's not just
out of a multitude of things. Like we've had
No, yeah.
brands like specifically like the slave shoe, if you remember, that was like a viral thing, like from, you know, some high-end fashion retailer. But this one was like, it is the only item on the market, on the store, and it's like really trying to make a statement. Also, it's the actual symbol, and it said HH on it for the item number. So like, it's just,
this man is very deeply unwell, because it's like, and I think part of it is he's doing this to get a rise. Like he's doing this, I don't think he's doing it because he wants to make a statement against the Jewish community as much as he's doing it just to make a statement in general. Like, you're not going to silence me. You're not going to stop me from doing what I want to do, even if it upsets you. And I think in some warped reality, he thinks that this is like some form of art. And like, it really is not. Like, he is just a deeply unwell person. And it's hard because I see how people are like, why isn't Kim Kardashian speaking out against this? But I understand she wants to protect her kids at the same time. But when it comes to protecting your kids, but also seeing what your ex-husband is doing, like, it's, I don't know. I mean, and my concern is also like for his oldest daughter, North, who I mean, from what we see of the kids on the Kardashians, they very much idolize their father, and Kim doesn't want to taint their image of their father because it's still their dad at the end of the day. But I don't know. It's very.
I will read some of these tweets and what I can, or now not tweets, they're X posts, and his X account is no longer on there on the platform. He thanked Elon for allowing him to vent these feelings. One of these says Hitler was so fresh. I don't think I can read some of these other ones, but
just use other terms.
I'm trying to think of how it says, call me Yadolf, Hitler, and your bitch still wants to fuck.
Okay, I just want to clarify the statements that I made
This
30
is
seconds
live.
ago. I did
This
not
is
see any of these tweets. I have not read them when I said that I think he was just looking for a rise. I don't know.
Another one says, I love when Jewish people come to me and say they can't work with me anymore. It's my fave. Another one, I'm buying 2 Maybachs tomorrow. I'm going to make the Jewish person who's selling it to me read all these tweets, and I bet you see me whipping Maybachs. Some of my best friends are Jewish, and I don't trust any of them. It just goes on and on. Like, it is nuts. Like, how repeated use of some of these terms and more. And one of them says, I am an N-word. I'm not going to say the word.
The black N-word or the Jewish N-word?
The one against the Jewish.
Okay.
Good clarification. So, like, yeah, it's just like not only that ad, but also like all of this, like it is just like where do you defend anybody at this point?
Well, I mean, in defense of the network, I will say you can't necessarily predict that this is what somebody's going to do if they have a fashion brand and a shoe line and they're just buying an ad to promote their fashion line. And
maybe
shoe
Fox
line.
thought he was going to do something like, you know, but
think about it. Like, yeah, if like I just want to sell my Yeezy shoes or whatever, like then I can understand how
you can't discriminate on that.
Because he was also just at what was the Grammys?
Yep.
He was also just there that like, oh, and he didn't really make a statement outside of Bianca that I'm sure they're like, let's just make sure there's no like nudity in this, you know, commercial. That I don't think they expected him. Like moving forward, I don't think that there will be any more Yeezy ads that'll be allowed anywhere at this point.
They might censor Yeezy completely. And speaking of the Grammys, there's a Page 6 article that went out today.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. As of this recording, it is now yesterday, February 11th. Kanye West and Bianca Censori were arguing on the Grammys 2025 red carpet before going on. This came out, and I guess there are a couple people who saw the two arguing before they hit the carpet. One was a social media star named Riley Mae Lewis, who was standing close to the two of them, who said that they seemed to be arguing. And this quote is in here. It says, quote, did not look like she wanted to be there as she was about to step in front of photographers. So just like you had talked about, it's like this whole, okay, like what is going on? So it's a very confusing time to look at these two incidents. Other quotes in here, one says, it, quote, makes me concerned for what the relationship is like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Another one says, energy between the two seemed off. And everyone on the carpet thought the exact same thing, apparently.
What do you think about them? Because after I said that, I think, what did I call her? His concubine, which I love that was the social clip that got published. But with that, my take on it was I do think that he's kind of controlling her, but the reaction that I saw online was that she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's complicit in this. She wants this just as much as he wants this, which isn't how I read the situation, but that was a lot of the response that I saw on social media. What is your take on it?
I mean, I look at Julia Fox.
Yeah.
And Julia Fox started to realize what was going on in the relationship. And
even
then
Kim knew when to dip out.
And Julia's like, let me make my name for myself, at least out of this relationship and for my own self. I kind of just wonder if like you take these two situations and put the Julia situations aside, and Bianca's probably like, maybe I will ride this as long as I can, but like, when is it too late to dip when you're caught in something really, really bad?
Yeah, at what point is it worth it? Because at this point, I think you can very clearly see that he has some very strong mental health issues that, you know, are affecting his judgment. So then that comes into question, is Bianca truly complicit in this, or is she also somebody that, you know, also struggles with mental health issues that is under the control of Kanye and she's loyal to him for some other reason? I don't know.
And those are our hot headlines for the day.
Fun.
Is it?
So fun.
Just because they're hot doesn't mean they're hot and ready and people want to buy them off the pizza rack like Little Caesars. But if you obviously love the Pop Report, what do?
Get some popcorn and watch the Pop Report. Subscribe, like if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button, drop a comment below, let us know your thoughts, and hit the like button all across. Leave a comment on Spotify, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and keep sharing the love in the club.
In the club.
In the club.
We all fam. I love those memes at the beginning of the year being like, I guess we're not all fam in the club. I want to read some comments from our last episode on Le Spotify. Rachel says, I listen to Zack every day and have for the past year, but I must say you two are the perfect balance. Oh, and I must say you are the perfect person to balance him out, Andy. Wow, didn't expect that one. I love y'all's banter together, and I want you to know your POV, commentary, and role in this podcast is much appreciated.
Thank you.
Work.
Even though that was a compliment for Andy.
I didn't know where that was going. I was like, hold on, let me expand her. Kirk0154 says, all caps, GIRL, girl. Who said that?
You need girl merch.
Girl merch?
Merch that says girl on it.
So we call it girl merch.
Girl merch.
Another comment says, sneaker pimp. Andy, don't forget that Zack prides himself on cultivating an audience that supports right-wing, anti-woke ideals.
That is not true. That is not true.
Andy is necessary to foil Zack's insistent devil's advocacy.
That is true. I do play devil's advocate often. I like looking at both sides of the coin.
And last but not least, we have KT, who says, Billie Eilish's perfume has the worst packaging, and the sprayer stopped working after a week of having it, and the smell doesn't last.
It is kind of a tacky dice thing. Like the bottle is kind of tacky.
The new one?
Yeah.
Well, it just came out. So is she talking about the body one or like the dice? Because like she's
Kim
after
Kardashian
a week.
did the body one. Oh, I don't know.
There's like a side, like a torso one that Billie had.
Well,
interesting. I want to see if anybody else has those feelings about Billie Eilish's fragrances. So obviously, if you feel any of those things, drop a comment on Spotify. We read all the comments.
Big T-shirt, Billie Eilish.
Now, what's our latest in music? Because I feel like after the Super Bowl, after other things, we have some music news, but like not as much music news.
Well, what was going on with Travis Kelce?
What wasn't going on with Travis Kelce? I'll tell you that much. No, I'm kidding. So I, in my lore, like to look at what happens after the games of Super Bowl and all the parties that were supposed to happen. And, you know, like the planning is a lot for these events and it can go either way. Travis Kelce was partying a lot last year after the win. Taylor's obviously there, a lot of big moments. He skipped his after party this year, which I understand. Like
Travis Kelce?
Yes.
Well, yeah, because he lost.
And he ended up FaceTiming the Chainsmokers after the loss. So
that wasn't on my bingo card.
No, didn't either. So I saw this video on Twitter, X, which basically said that the Chainsmokers were supposed to perform, I guess, at the after party.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the Chainsmokers said, I just played your fucking after party. And it's Drew Taggart and Alex Paul. So in good spirits, you know, it seemed like Kelce was like having a good time. Like, you know, everyone's here for a good time at this. DJ Dom Dalla was there, but they were like, it seemed like alluding to like, why didn't you come? Like, even if you didn't win, like, why didn't you come? Like, celebrate with us, all of us. So it seemed like, you know, everyone's still in some good spirits, at least a little bit.
Great.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think he's going to break up with Taylor Swift.
The other thing about that in music news was people thought there was going to be an engagement that night.
I think he's going to break up with Taylor Swift. Okay, so Heather McDonald had this prediction on her podcast, and then this morning I taped Meghan McCain's Citizen McCain podcast, which airs today, Wednesday. And she has this, she's like, just like Heather, I have the same theory. I think Taylor's now in her mid-30s, and when you reach that era of your life, if a man doesn't propose to you within 2 years, he's not interested in proposing to you at all. And I agree. And I think based off of her getting booed at the Super Bowl, I think part of why he was dating her was for her fame. And listen, and it brought him a lot, right? He went from just being a football player to now he's an actor. He was performing on stage during her Eras tour. Like, he's become a full-fledged celebrity. And so I think now that he's gotten what he needed from her, if he continues to stay with her as her reputation continues to dwindle, I think that that's only going to backfire on him. And so I don't think he's interested in marrying her. We haven't had an engagement yet. If they don't get engaged within the next, by summer, I would say within the next like 4 months, I really think that they're going to break up within the next 4 months.
You really think they're going to break up?
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any benefit to him staying with her. And
I think maybe love.
Love can only go so far. And I don't think he genuinely loves her.
I don't know. You haven't been in a relationship before, so
okay, so I may be a little cynical.
It's a little hard.
But no, I don't see this going the distance. I really don't. I think he's going to break up with her. And I think a lot of it is because her reputation is tanking, and his reputation will tank as a result of it.
I don't necessarily think her reputation is tanking. I think she's just in this, again, what we've seen of Taylor's seasonality is she has an oversaturation of being in the market. Mm-hmm. So she's back to her, let's say, reoccurring cycle where she is everywhere. And that's why she takes a break and she goes away, necessarily, quote unquote. So I think she's probably going to take a beat, do her thing, or release Reputation and then fully go away for a while so that she can go back to her day-to-day life.
She's going to release Reputation?
So you have Taylor Swift, the Reputation Taylor's version.
Oh, fuck off. I'm so tired of Taylor's versions. How many more albums do we have to get through with her versions?
Okay, I will say, of all the albums, that one was the best.
I agree. That was my favorite album of hers.
Here's
but
the
I
other
don't
thing.
need a Taylor's
Here's
version.
the other thing. We missed the fucking Super Bowl. Taylor and Kendrick linking up for some sort of single of some sort. So, like, the potential.
They did one, didn't they? On
but
Reputation.
not on Super Bowl.
Bad Blood.
Think of all the things Kendrick could have done. He did a lot with the beef.
Yeah. Why did he not have Taylor in his for a Reputation collab at the Super Bowl halftime show? That would have been a banger.
That's all I'm saying, girl.
Because now we got Bad
So I think
Blood.
Reputation did really well. It was a big arc change for Taylor.
I didn't realize Scooter Braun still had Reputation.
He had them all. He bought all of the
I know, but I
discography.
thought Reputation was the first time she was breaking out on her own. I didn't realize that was still attached to Scooter Braun.
I mean, so the sale happened after a multitude of the albums. So, like, obviously, Reputation and more was a part of it. That's why she's done Taylor's version for, like, 5+ albums.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
Reputation is the one that people have been fan demanded the most.
Yes, I do. That's probably my favorite album of hers is Reputation. It was a great album. The music videos were good. The shade at Kim Kardashian was good. I loved all of it. It was great. No notes.
No notes. I think that there is not anything that, like, right now people are in disdain for. Like, she's everywhere and she's oversaturated in the market right now because people are seeing her as much.
Yeah.
But, like, people loved when she came back. Again, like, think Evermore, think Folklore.
Yeah.
I'm obviously in the middle where, like, I'm not a Swiftie, but, like, I enjoy some of the music.
Yeah.
But have I seen her in concert? No. But I know for certain on a mid-market level that people are really dying for Reputation. They're like, lights out, cool. take a break.
This is the time she should take a break. Don't release Reputation. Take a break. You have to create the demand. Make people miss you, especially since Reputation was such a banger of an album the first time. If she just goes dead for a year and then drops Reputation, I think that would be the smartest move. I didn't, because I had to give that prediction on Megan's podcast, and I didn't realize that Reputation was not part. That's the way she comes back. Taylor's version, Reputation.
That's why she's still so relevant right now too. Is people are like, where is Reputation? She's gonna announce Reputation.
Yeah.
People thought with the anklet, even for Grammys, like the T was red, and people were like, red. We just had the red album.
Yeah.
The T, like, are we gonna get some sort of Easter egg going into Reputation? Because we look at everything that went in that era too, and there's all the stuff we don't know that didn't make the album, all the Easter eggs and more. So I don't think necessarily that her and Travis are going to break up. I don't think necessarily, say what you got to say. I think there's still a lot for them, and Travis is probably going to retire. He's probably going to do one more season and probably...
He's going to leave football and then go into entertainment.
His brother just retired last year.
Yeah, but I don't think his brother cares to be part of Hollywood. I think Travis wants to be in that world, and he will pursue that career after football.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see. Because baby, now we got bad blood. See, but that's also when she had all her little model minions, and they were the mean girls, and that fell off as well. So I think Taylor Swift is a mean girl. I do like some of her music, but I do think she is a bit of a mean girl, and I think Blake Lively is really bringing a lot of this to light. Now that she keeps getting dragged into all of this legal drama, and Mark wants Baldoni's attorney wants to depose her, and I'm ready for it.
Are you ready for it?
Are you ready for it?
Well, in some other stuff, basically, we have some not so great news.
Oh.
In music, Dolly Parton.
Died.
Did you know that she's not dead?
Oh, okay.
Did you know she has a musical?
No.
It's called, I think it's called Here You Come Again.
That sounds dirty.
Here You Come Again, yes. So I actually wrote an article about this as well, but she has a musical, and it has like hits like Jolene, I Will Always Love You.
Jolene.
And it was staged at the Opera House in Manchester for a 5-night run, which concluded on Saturday. Someone from the cast literally said, y'all, homophobia is alive and well because they've had to kick out so many people of the audience who have been upset that there is a gay cast member or like a gay person in this musical. There have been people standing up and shouting slurs.
Where?
In Manchester. From the audience, a woman at one point stood up and shouted, and they had to stop the
what did she shout?
F slur, like other shit, like
why?
She's just unhappy.
How? Like it's like Dolly Parton literally looks.
She has been very vocal about her support for gay people and more, but like, they're like every show we've had to stop. We've even had to like stop the full production.
Who would
kick
go?
people out.
What is the play about?
It's just about like, it seems like da 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 da. It's just, I don't know as much. It's been a minute. Let me look and see. So when I wrote about this, like the musical, it's based on the life of her, of course, the life and the music, but I don't know necessarily how that's strung together, like in her time of like growing up.
So who's the gay guy in the play?
Girl, you're putting me on the spot with all these things.
This is your story. And it was just like, they hate the gays, mic drop. I have questions. I have follow-ups. There
have been, I guess, multiple people
that have been gay
that have come out like every show and like said something.
Said that they're gay?
No, said that they don't like the gay person in the...
Why are you going to a Dolly Parton musical about her life? Like Dolly Parton looks like she could be a gay man with a wig.
A woman was removed after expressing her disgust over the presence of a gay character on stage, prompting an outburst that caused the show to be temporarily halted.
Oh my God.
She was shouting out, and then the audience started shouting at her. There was a massive ruckus, as they say over there.
Lock her up.
Webb, who plays a character with a romantic storyline involving a male partner in this, emphasized how surprising it was to encounter such hostility in a show centered around the legend Dolly Parton.
So Dolly Parton's pushing the gay agenda.
Yeah, you know she is.
She's trying to turn you gay. She put a little fluoride in the water, in the cocktails when you go to Dollywood so that she can turn you a little gay.
Spoken like a true supporter himself. Well, that is our music news. I feel
The
like that's a
gays
lot.
love Dolly. Fuck off.
And Dolly loves the gays.
Yeah.
What is your take? I've seen a couple of videos about this woman via your stories.
Mm-hmm.
Who is-
Onijah Robinson?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with this woman.
Tell me more. Give me the 30-second rundown of what happened.
Okay. So Onijah Robinson is a woman from New York, okay? I believe she's from the Bronx. And so she claims that she's 33, but I'm not convinced. Anyway, she ends up finding this guy online.
Hot.
He's 19. He lives in Pakistan, okay? You stop that.
Stop that real fast.
He's 19, okay? Lives in Pakistan. They fall in love on the internet, right? They fell in love in a hopeless place. She claims that they got married in Utah via the online.
Utah?
Yeah, even though she's from New York and he's from Pakistan, but somehow they got married via the online in Utah. So anyway, they're married, and like a good wife, she wanted to go and check up on him. So she decides she's going to book a flight to go see him in Pakistan.
Love.
They've never met before.
Oh.
So she goes to meet him for the first time in Pakistan, and he's like, hold up, wait a minute, stranger danger. This is not who I met online.
I thought it was a white woman.
Yes, he thought that she was white, and she was using a Nicki Minaj filter.
As she should.
With like a blonde wig and everything. And so she totally catfished him. And she's like, what do you mean, honey? I'm home. And he's just like, not today, Satan. And then his family said, nope, we're not letting this happen, because obviously he's 19 years old and your family should step in at that point when you marry a woman from the Bronx. And so she decided, I'm not going quietly.
I got my card. I got my rights.
She had a 30-day visa. And so she ended up staying in Pakistan, and she camped out in front of their home and decided that she was just going to live here now until they decide. It was like a modern day Romeo and Juliet.
No, it's not.
And so it's forbidden love. And so they decide we're leaving Pakistan. So they pack their bags and they leave because they want no part of her bullshit. And so the press starts picking up on her and they start talking to her. And then she decides, you know what? The press and the people of Pakistan love me, so I'm going to make Pakistan great again. And so she then demands money from the U.S. government. She wants $100K, and $20K is going to go into her pocket, but she wants $100K for real estate because she's going to invest it back into Pakistan because, well, she's living in Pakistan. This was back in October.
This is more than 30 seconds.
So mind you, she went there in October and has been there ever since. And she's not there anyway, but we'll get to that update in a second. But so she decided that the U.S. is going to pay to rebuild Pakistan because she lives there now and the infrastructure is ridiculous.
You're donkulous.
She said, it's ridiculous here and we need to fix this. So send me $100K. And then she has this man, Mr. Chippa, who's some sort of like social worker that lives in Pakistan. And he was trying to help her. And so her and Mr. Chippa, why Mr. Chippa keeps doing these
Chippas.
these press conferences with her is wild. But so every time her and Mr. Chippa do a press conference, she's always yelling at Mr. Chippa because he's talking. And she's like, stop talking. You talk too much. And she's like, I don't know what he's saying, but I hope he's saying the right things. But what he's saying is, and then she shouts out all her family and she shouts out all the fathers.
This sounds like very top model.
It's wild. And so her and Mr. Chippa have a very toxic relationship. And then we have Shabana. And she claims that Shabana is the woman that takes care of her, right? And she's like, this is Shabana, and Shabana takes care of me, and Shabana's on my team. And so then we find out Shabana is the police. Shabana is literally the woman on the police
She is
force.
ICE, but for Pakistan.
Yes. And so she's there to monitor Onijah and like kind of keep her safe because they have to lock her into a psychiatric ward. And they're doing her nails, and they're doing her hair, and they're buying her McDonald's, extra crispy fries with extra salt.
I'll take that.
And she's loving it, right? And so they're treating her like a queen in Pakistan. And so she's now become the queen of Pakistan, and she's going to make Pakistan great again. And so the U.S. is embarrassed by her. And so they're trying to get her to get on a flight home. And so they're buying all these tickets to get her to come back to the U.S. And she said, no, I'm from Pakistan now. And the reporters are like, what do you mean you're from Pakistan? Were you born here? And she's like, no, I wasn't born here, but I'm from here now. Or what? And then she's like, I'm not talking to you guys anymore until you pay me $5K a day. They're just like, a day? They're like, no. And they're like, why do we need to pay you money to talk to us? She's like, because talking is expensive. And hashtag it's expensive to be me, a la Erica Jane. And so finally, they somehow convince this woman to get on a plane. Okay? Convince her to get on the plane. And so she gets on the plane.
Way more than 30 seconds.
I guess there was an overlay in Dubai. And so the plane stopped in Dubai, and she decides at this point she's going to sneak off. And so now she's lost in Dubai somewhere.
That is a new Emily in Paris movie called Lost in Dubai.
Yeah, well, it went from Emily in Pakistan to now Lost in Dubai Part 2. And so she's So now there are all these TikTok videos of her just like roaming the streets of Dubai trying to cause havoc over there because she caused enough havoc in Pakistan. And then meanwhile, none of her family seems to be claiming her. And her son came out and he's like, oh, my mother's not well. And I'm just like, if your mother is not well, then why are you letting her wreak havoc in other countries? And so he's not going to save her. And she's just she's minding her business. And she's telling other people to mind their business. So when they ask her questions on the street, she's like, I'm Muslim and it's against my religion for you to be in my business. So mind your business.
And scene.
And so now she's just, as of right now, she is lost in Dubai.
Should we cut as we probably have another 10, 20 minutes and we're wrapped? We'll reset
Yes.
our cameras. So when it comes to Miss Emily in Dubai, what do you think's going to happen next?
You know what? A lot of people are very concerned about her, and they're just like, they're going to, decapitate her in Dubai. But I actually have faith in her. Everyone's saying...
gotta have faith, as some say.
Yeah.
You know what that's from?
No.
Oh, my God. You think you're a Blake and Baldoni expert. It's a simple favor quote. Gotta have faith.
Oh. Because faith, charity, and what was the other one?
Yeah.
It was faith, charity, and who?
The other one.
The triplet. I just watched that movie the other day, too. But so, yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of people are like, she's playing real hard with that fuck around and find out. And I actually think she's going to show them. People think that Dubai is tough, but I think Onijah Robinson is tougher.
And that's on word.
And there's already been videos, and she's in the streets, and she's already, like, threatening people. She's like, you crossed me, and I'm going to put the cigarette in your face.
In your face?
Yeah. I'm like, listen, you see those videos? I ain't worried about her.
It reminds
She's
me of that
gonna
Nicki
be okay.
Minaj lyric. Ooh, dick in your face.
Oh.
Oh, come on. You say you're a Nicki fan. I just try to insert the Nicki lyric because here's a Nicki filter. Anyway.
Pull up in the Sri Lanka.
What? Anyway. Well, in our other news, we have our Watch or Skip segment, which I'd love to give a formal review of Kinda Pregnant with Amy Schumer. Now, we do have reviews. We gave a subtle review without watching this the other week, and I'm going to give my personal rendition of watching this movie.
Okay.
And taking consideration of the other reviews and the Rotten Tomatoes score also that it received.
Got it. Okay, break it down.
I think this movie is a one-time watch. Not in a bad way. Like, I watched it. It had some good moments.
Like a grinder hookup.
Ew, no.
It's a one-time thing. You're like, oh, you're cute. And then you go and you realize they used a Nicki Minaj filter. And then you're like, never mind.
What if you see him multiple times? There's those people who are like, I date my grinder hookup. That's not a one-time thing. Anyway, it is not a bad movie. It has good humor. I think people just love to hate on Amy Schumer specifically. Like, I think that if you also put anybody in this role, I think it would still be a one-time watch for me, just because like how campy the storyline is and like how similar vibes of Trainwreck it gives. It was also a Happy Madison production. So like a lot of those, when you watch like an Adam Sandler movie, you watch it and you don't watch it for a while. It's not like, oh my God, I want to watch it again.
Yeah.
But it had some hilarious moments. I don't think the Rotten Tomatoes score should have been as low as it was. I think I honestly enjoyed it. I definitely was like, oh my God, I can't believe they fucking put that in there. But it was just an out there script. I think it's like,
Was it really out there? Because Lindsay Lohan did it when she filmed Labor Pains.
it was just a little different on like the way they took it though.
Well,
Like,
what's the story? She's fake pregnant, right?
She's fake pregnant, and then she meets somebody, and she's lying to not only this man she met, but a new friend she also has. And then her friends don't know that she is faking this entire time, that she is fake pregnant to other people.
Why is she fake pregnant?
Because she got jealous of her friend who is pregnant and doesn't want to be pregnant necessarily, and she's always wanted to have a child. And so
Amy Schumer always
Amy
wanted that.
Schumer
Okay.
in the beginning of the movie basically has a boyfriend who she thinks is going to propose. Does not go that way, and she's like, my whole life is this. I wanted this. I've been with this man for 3 years. I'm in my late 30s. Like, the fuck? So, you know, she put on the fake little belly for a minute, and she saw how people treated her, and she's like, I'm gonna keep this up. So I think it has fun, campy elements, but like, it is a one-time watch. I would give it like, I don't know. I don't think I'd give it anywhere near what Rotten Tomatoes and other people have said.
What did they give it?
I think I gave it like a 6 out of 100.
And you gave, wow, a 6 out of 100.
Let me look that up.
Bad.
Let me look it up. But like, I would give it like a 7.5
Out of 100?
out of 10. Oh my God. You weird, silly boy. I'm looking up what their score was just to verify, but it was kind of low. So it was a 25%. I misquoted, but still, that's very low for Rotten Tomatoes. Like, you never really see a lot of movies like go as low than like 60% or below. You know,
Will she be getting a Razzie?
I don't think it's a Razzie worthy. I think Miss Gaga will get the Razzie for her
Harley
Joker.
Quinn.
Yeah, that one is like a.
I didn't realize I was watching a TikTok video about Harley Quinn and the Joker and the second movie and how it's a love story about like, do I choose him or do I choose me?
Pick me, love me.
Mm-hmm.
In other news, though, we do a few watcher skips, which I want to get your take on to see if you would listen or watch. No, I said listen, but I want to see if you would watch
Clear
this.
the way.
Clear the way, Kronk. So, as of today, we have a new update on a series for Apple TV.
Mm-hmm.
So Amy Adams is joining Javier Bardem in Cape Fear. This is a series. I think Apple TV does a really good job at like premium stuff. HBO and Apple, succinct, tied in together. To give you a description of this, it was picked up in Apple in November with a 10-episode order. The series is based on both the John D. MacDonald novel, The Executioners, which inspired Gregory Peck's 1962 Universal Pictures feature, Cape Fear. So you've probably heard of Cape Fear, and the 1991 remake of Martin Scorsese. But the logline states, quote, "A storm is coming for a happily married attorney, Amy Adams, and Tom Bowden when Max Caddy Barnum, a notorious killer from their past, gets out of prison." It's kind of hard to read loglines when it's like person known for, person character name. So like, I like Amy Adams. I think this is interesting because like we had some pretty iconic movies on this. But
I like Amy Adams.
As a series, I think
Isn't she married to Borat? No, that's Isla Fisher.
Got it. I was
Same
like,
thing.
what were you trying to think of?
I
Would you
mean,
watch?
Sure. I like Apple TV.
Cape Fear was good. I think like
Yeah.
as a series, like we need more drama,
Yeah.
thriller. Like each episode maybe like a 45-minute, an hour.
Yeah.
Like good premise, good plot.
I would watch it. Yeah. I will definitely add it to the list. I'll let Andy watch it first and let me know if it's any good.
You're
But
welcome.
the way he sold Amy Schumer's movie, I don't know if I'm convinced.
Okay, anyway. My last watcher skip here, we have Kristen Wiig and Bill Murray to star in a comedy called Epiphany. It's from the director for Palm Springs, which just came out a little while ago.
Okay.
But the film made its debut in the... Oh, it's directed by Max Barbakow.
Got it.
Iconic names. Love. So it follows favorite Yves, an heiress and fashionista who has blown through her entire fortune and is forced to take up a challenge, which is marry a rich husband in 2 weeks or lose everything and end up on the street.
Oh, no.
Sounds familiar to your stories. Her desperate search for a big money mark slams her into an eccentric math savant billionaire Oz Bell, which is Bill Murray. Favorite needs Oz's money, and Oz craves favorites, the spirit and spontaneity.
Okay.
Don't know too much other than that. So, like, anytime I see Kristen Wiig, though, I'm like, I'm intrigued. Like, I want to know, like, how out there is Kristen Wiig going to be? And Bill Murray, couple. I mean, I don't know. I'm in the middle of, like, watch and don't watch because, like, I didn't get to watch Palm Royale. But, like, I think I'd watch just because it's unlikely pairing for me.
I don't know. I'm not as sold on this couple as I was on Amy Adams.
Well, anyway.
Is that all of our watcher skip?
That's all of our watcher skip, at least the ones I wanted to get your take on because I had a review for the second.
Okay. Well, I am looking forward to watching the Amy Adams one.
Well, you don't sound riveted by anything I just said, so go to the next.
I actually, the Amy Adams one sounds good.
Okay.
I like Apple Plus. Or Apple, what is it?
Apple TV Plus.
There you go. Same thing.
It's Apple TV and Apple TV Plus, and I'm like, pick
What's
one.
the difference?
I don't
like
remember.
A premium?
Yeah.
Dumb. Okay, so I do have some general news stories that I wanted to throw in here,
Hit me.
and there are a few of them.
Oh.
First of all, I just found out as I was on my way over here that Hugh Hefner's son is trying to take after him. And so he's now launched a OnlyFans competitor where you can, it's basically like X meets OnlyFans.
Playboys. What? Is this a Playboy like
No,
app or
he's,
like?
well, because the family no longer has any ownership over Playboy.
Oh, well.
And
news to
so
me.
now he's decided he's launching his own thing. His name's Marston Hefner. He's 34.
Okay.
He's not
Marston.
ugly. But so he has a new site. It's called RM11. And so he's promising to give creators a higher cut than they get on OnlyFans or Playboy.
Walk me back. What does RM stand for?
Nobody knows.
Role model? And what is 11?
Nobody knows.
Like, I hope it's not like 11 years old and older, to be honest.
So the app does allow nudity, but it does not allow sex. So you can't do boom boom in the bedroom. You can just do like tasteful like thirst traps.
There's also an app called O that came out recently.
Oh.
It's a competitor to OnlyFans, and they use AI chatbots. So, like, yeah, maybe think of that for a second. Anyway, continue.
So he says that he wants this to be an app for free speech and freedom of expression.
Ugh.
And so he doesn't want it to be like a porn site. So it's not any of that stuff. It's just you can post tasteful nude photos, and you can also, share your thoughts.
Anytime someone says free speech anymore, I'm like,
Andy doesn't like free speech.
I don't like the word free speech anymore because I'm like, do we all know what actually free speech is in these days and age?
I don't think anybody knows.
I don't think anybody knows. When everyone says, I want to promote free speech, I'm like, girl, there's your one of the episode. Didn't get a tally marker for the last episode.
So that's Marston. And so he's over here trying to, save nude photos. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we have Armie Hammer.
God, what are you doing to me in this general news?
So Armie Hammer just did a podcast episode. It was Louis Theroux's podcast.
I think I saw this quote.
And
continue.
So he opens up about eating the heart of an animal.
Yeah.
So he goes hunting, and so when the heart is still warm, he pulled the heart out, and he took a bite of the heart. He said he didn't eat the whole thing, but it was like a bonding experience.
I grew up in Pennsylvania.
And they eat hearts there?
No, we have drive your tractor to school day. I don't think anyone from my neck of the woods.
Did you drive your tractor to school?
Did I have a tractor when I was living across the street from school? No, because I walked to school.
But did you have a tractor at all?
My grandma did.
Okay.
Anyway, we for sure didn't eat a heart. Whoever bonded, whoever's benefiting from this, don't know her.
He says you take a bite out of the heart and you've got all your buddies around you.
No.
And they're guarding you and they're goading you on. It's sort of like almost overly charged male rite of passage when you go hunting for the first time. Everyone that I know who went hunting for their first time had to do something similar.
This is like that season of You where
But
Penn
he also
Badgley
wants
goes
to make
out
it
with
clear that it's not about cannibalism or sexual gratification.
No, this is like that episode of You where he goes out into the woods with all the men and he's like, let's hunt. I'm out. I gave you a lot of chances, sir. I think eating the heart is where I really draw the line. I already drew the line a couple times.
I'm a little torn on this one.
Oh, you're a little bitten?
I'm a little bitten because what is it?
Back in olden days.
No, what do you call it? Organ meat? Organ meat is a thing, right? Where people eat like liver of an animal or the heart of an animal, or they grind it up. Heidi Montag was out eating, raw animal organs. Like she was on a raw animal organ diet, and the paparazzi would catch her and she'd be eating like a big beef liver. So it is a thing that happens and people do eat it. It is just kind of creepy.
If it's prepared right and if it's taken care of and if it's not
gutted
out of the deer.
That's where I'm a little more like...
Like I can get with you, like we eat eyeballs, we eat like random things like liver, tongue, but it's like, has this been prepared? Do you think salmonella will be in that?
Hunt the animal and then they take the heart right out and then you take a bite out of it.
And he did it in front of my salad.
What?
Oh my God. I'm not gonna go down this lore. If you get it, you get it.
I don't get it. So that's Armie Hammer and that's Marston Hefner. And then we also have Sabrina Carpenter, who just graced the cover of Vogue magazine, and she pulled inspiration from Madonna.
So is this not in our music news? It's in our general news?
It's in our general news.
Shame on you. Miscategorizing our women of pop into general news.
It was
being
great.
Generalized.
It was great.
What did
I
she
loved
do?
It. She channeled Marilyn Monroe meets Madonna. So she had like Madonna's cone bra, and then she had hair like Marilyn. And so she wanted to make sure that the Vogue cover was able to bring inspo from both of them.
That should be a song. Hair like Marilyn.
Do we think that Sabrina Carpenter could be
Marilyn Monroe reincarnated?
No. John Benet Ramsey. No, she could be. She does kind of look like John Benet. But so I think that she could become like a modern. Like I think she wants to become like a Marilyn Monroe Madonna sex symbol.
I mean, she looked great at the Grammys, like with her back reveal entirety of like the diamonds, like the carats, like the entirety with the hair and more. It's very much like this Regal-esque 2020s version of Madonna plus, you know, like a lot of these other pop girls who have come before us.
Yes.
Like I think she's just done a good job being like, I'm just a girl, but I also can dress up, but I also can be kind of cool and slutty sometimes.
I like her.
Do the moms like her?
I don't think so. But so yeah, what's going on with Liam Payne? Is he gay?
Oh no, honey. Okay, so this just broke, and we basically saw an article, a couple articles actually. So we have Liam Payne's ex, Maya Henry, broke her silence after his death. This headline from People says, quote, "It was the drug use and addictions that tore us apart." So in the new issue of Rolling Stone, she spoke about everything that has been going on. She said, quote, "This was someone I loved very much." And she said, quote, "Initially, it was the drug use and addictions that tore us apart. Anyone who has been with an addict understands how difficult that is." So obviously, people have been waiting to hear about her perspective and her side. The toxicology report, like we reported, alcohol, cocaine, prescription antidepressants, a lot in the mix. So she went on to say, quote, "While I loved him deeply, he did things that hurt me in ways I'll never fully understand. And he continued to hurt me years after we broke up." So, quote, "On drugs, he became someone unrecognizable, so different from his sober self." She went on to say, quote, "I kept hoping each incident would be a wake-up call for him to get help, but it never was. I tried to be there for him. I loved him so much that I convinced myself I could fix things." So that's sad. Obviously, a lot of stuff in here, but there have been some things that have come to light about their relationship that they talked about. And remind you, they were first spotted together in August of 2018. They confirmed the relationship in September of 2019 and then got engaged in 2020 before splitting in June of 2021. They reconciled in October of 2021, and then he broke up with her for the following year for good. So she saw multiple years of like him up and down, up and down. We saw a lot of him in those years too. There are other articles that are covering this in a different way. So basically, Page Six took a route with this. They said in their headline, Liam Payne, quote, "struggled with sexuality and forced Maya Henry to get an abortion." So in this, Page Six, who had, I guess, multiple insiders claim to the magazine about this, that he privately, quote, "struggled with his sexuality." What does that mean? Let's see what we can find in here. According to Page Six and these insiders, which, do you want to guess who these insiders are? Because I never know.
Sources close to the matter.
I guess they found out that there were inappropriate messages to other people
In one direction.
when he accidentally broadcast them to a TV.
Louis. Oh.
The source claimed that Payne forced Henry to get an abortion in 2020 also by giving her an ultimatum. This source went on to say, quote, "Liam sent Maya a long message saying it's either get an abortion and stay with him or raise the kid alone, and he will not acknowledge either of them."
Wow.
There is also a quote in here. It says, "This is a surprise to Maya because Liam wanted to have a family and they were trying for a kid."
Wow.
So
where was he gay?
it is at least alluding to inappropriate messages.
With men.
That's what's alluding to, of like
With
broadcast
Zayn.
to a TV. No idea.
Louis. Who are the two direction guys that were having sex?
Louis and Harry.
Was it Louis and Harry?
People thought they were together.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Maybe it was
complications.
Louis and Liam.
It also reported that Payne pushed Henry down a flight of stairs and chased her with an axe during their on-again,
What?
off-again romance.
What in the Amber Portwood?
She also told the publication in a lengthy statement that she loved Payne, you know, talked about earlier, how she wanted to help
What kind
him.
of pain?
Liam Payne. She also wanted to say, quote, "I put myself in situations that were unsafe and harmful, ignoring every red flag." And she does not fault him for his struggles. So it seems like there was a lot. 2 years after they ultimately called it quits, she made headlines by sending him that cease and desist. Do you remember that? Like they were doing their thing. She claimed her ex had, quote, "repeatedly sent unsolicited and disturbing images and videos to her and her loved ones." By this time, he was in a relationship with Kate Cassidy, who he was in Argentina with when everything had happened. So again, like a lot, but it seems
Yikes.
this sexuality comment is about the messages that were displayed on a TV.
Mm.
Like when you air cast something, like you're accidentally going through things and you're like, oh, not my messages, not my camera roll.
But how did they see the messages on the air thing if it was by accident?
So have you ever aircast to a TV and you're trying to show a video and you scroll out of the app? It's still showing everything on the TV.
Right.
Or if a text comes in at the top, you can start to get some...
But I mean, unless you see that the name is from a very clearly other man and it's like, I want to suck your dick, like unless it's something that explicit, that's the only way you can catch that if you're moving through your phone that quickly.
Unless you went to the text really quick and you didn't think like their last message was that bad and it revealed everything above. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
So,
but you'd have to read really fast in order to catch that.
I mean...
Catch me if you can, like Onijah Robinson.
Catch me if you can. But yeah,
Well,
it's sad.
it is sad. He was a cutie too. And he has a baby that he leaves behind.
So yeah, after everything, it just alludes to like he was sexting men. And so, yeah, here's the quote again: accidentally broadcast sexting conversations with strangers through a TV. It doesn't say how deep. We don't know much, but that is
Wild.
the extent of that. So I think it's hard. We're going to hear probably more and more. We don't know as much about that incident in Argentina, but we'll see what else develops on that.
Yeah.
It's hard to segue out of some of these things. Sometimes it's really rough.
Apparently that's how Liam liked it.
Aside from all of that, let's leave it on a little nice note. I think the premiere of The White Lotus Season 3
is good.
It looks like it's going to be a good time. From the reviews I've seen on our ending on a good note, it's a little bit long to get into, but it gets really good with a lot of surprises.
Okay.
So when that comes out, Papa's going to take a seat.
I'm excited. I still need to watch White Lotus 2. I've only seen clips, but I did watch season 1 and it was great.
Point
But
that Starbucks little...
what do you call it? The HBO Max is just like $15 a month is too much for a subscription.
Oh my god!
But then again, all the other we'll
pay $15 for eggs, but not for HBO Max.
I don't pay that much for eggs. You crazy?
You crazy? You don't even buy eggs.
Yes, I do. Well, not anymore.
Not
There are
anymore.
no more eggs.
Well, what do you want to leave?
We killed all the chickens, and now there's no more eggs.
What do you want to leave the people who are looking to buy eggs with today?
Don't go to Yeezy.com. Don't go to Yeezy.com.
2 more things to recommend.
Maybe watch the Amy Schumer movie. I won't, but if that's if that's what you're into, then you can watch that. But if you do need some good quality entertainment, then I highly recommend you look into Onijah Robinson. I did a full recap here on the show today, but go watch her videos on the Tickety Talk because it's wildly entertaining and it's way better than anything Amy Schumer could ever give you.
What was your last recommendation?
Subscribe to the Pop Report.
Thank you. Well, we'll see y'all real soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Come again.